Hi everyone, I'm here with this awesome card that I made using a stamp from Technique Junkies. This stamp is from the April 2021 release. Here's a photo of all the stamps that are in the April 2021 release. And this one that I'm going to use today is called Where Flowers Bloom. It is a sentiment stamp, but it does have some images on it as well. The stamp number is SD1083. So I'm going to start off with a piece of accent opaque 80-pound cardstock. I'm going to be using VersaFine Clair inks to stamp this sentiment. I grabbed a fantastic blending tip. It is basically a disposable blending brush or pen. And I'm looking at the image on the artwork that comes with the card so that I know where to color in those flowers. And the color I'm using from VersaFine Clair is Verdant, Verdant. If you don't have a fantastic stick, you can use your edge of your ink pad, you can use a sponge dauber, or you could use water-based markers. So for example, your Memento markers or your Zig water-based markers, those are the same type of concept. You're able to use those kind of markers to go ahead and color in your stamp. Now you don't want to use alcohol markers, no Sharpies, no alcohol inks, no Copics, nothing like that. Anything that's a water-based ink. Next, I'm going to grab Charming Pink. Again, I have a fantastic blender brush, and there are some flowers in the middle of this stamp. I'm just going to go ahead and color those in with this Charming Pink. VersaFine Clair is a pigment ink, but I figured I would use that so that there'll be plenty of time for it to dry. The only thing with pigment ink is you have to give them just a little bit longer to dry before you would die cut them or put them against your desk or something. If you're going to be putting glue or tape on the other side, you just have to be careful. And this orange is called Summertime, and I'm taking Summertime and I am stamping the words above, which are Where Flowers. Those are the first words of this stamp. And you can see how nice and bright these inks are. I like that the shape of the pad, and it's a firm pad, so it is easy to stamp just individual sections, in other words, of the stamp. Those flowers don't really look pink. They look more purple, so the only thing I can think of is I was using a fantastic brush on that I had used in another color, and it just was transferring over some. Okay, now we have the Charming Pink color again, but it still looks purple. And I think it's just because this fantastic blender brush that I'm using right now was previously used in a purple ink. It's not like dye-based ink where you can just spray the nib and wash away the ink. Pigment ink, when it comes to brushes and things like that, it sticks more. It doesn't matter to me because I love purple, and actually I end up using a pattern paper with purple in the background. But the word that I'm stamping here is bloom. And I'm just coloring in each letter individually just because instead of taking a chance and hand stamping it and accidentally getting some of the letters that I don't want colored purple, to be the wrong color. This takes a little bit longer, but it's definitely an effective way of getting your colors down. And if you're not familiar with Technique Junkies, I'll have link below to the Technique Junkies website. And I want to encourage you to go on over there and look around. They've got so many fantastic stamps to choose from. Everything from background stamps to sentiments, you name it. And as a design team member, it's my pleasure to offer you a 10% discount on your order, but you'll have to look in my description box below for that code, and you can use that when you check out, and it'll take 10% off your order. So thanks for looking into that, and I'm sure that once you have a look around there, you're going to see some things that you really like. You can create a wish list, save things for later if you can't get them all at once. And if you want to check out other videos on my channel, I have other videos where I've used Technique Junkie stamps to give you an idea of some projects that you can make. I also have a blog that features Technique Junkies projects, and you can check that out. And there's also the Technique Junkies design team blog, which is called Design Junkies, and they've got a lot of great ideas over there too. Okay, now I'm using Warm Breeze by Versifying Claire, and I'm stamping the word hope and the arrow underneath the word hope. So every month on the first of the month, Technique Junkies releases a brand new set of stamps, and it's getting close to the May release, which I'm real excited about that. And I will be doing a live on my YouTube channel where I walk you through all of the stamps that are in the May release and give you some ideas of how you can use them. Maybe make a project or two with you and show you some of the cards that I created using the May stamp sets. There's some awesome stamp sets coming up in May. I definitely want to encourage you to make sure that you subscribe to my channel and ring the bell so that you can be notified of when I go live. It'll be in early May. Whether it's the first or the second, not really sure, but yeah, looking forward to showcasing those awesome stamps. Okay, now I've got a red color. Let me check to see which color this is. Okay, this is Tulip Red. And I'm taking a brush, which is an old paintbrush that, I mean, after I do this, it really won't be any good for like painting with. I'll be able to use it for other things. But, I mean, I could wash it really good, but I'll tell you the truth, I didn't wash it right away and it got a little hard. But that's okay because I use it for mixed media. Because sometimes when you're doing mixed media projects, you need a stiff brush. So, the little banner sentiment says, so does. So the sentiment altogether says, where flowers bloom, so does hope. And here you can see, instead of using a fantastic stick, I'm just using a brush. And I'm coloring in the red rubber. You really can't do that with photopolymer stamps, guys. What's beautiful about red rubber stamps is there's so many different things that you can do with them that just wouldn't work out very well using photopolymer stamps. You can still do a lot of the same things with photopolymer stamps as you do with red rubber stamps and vice versa. But the idea of using a marker or a paintbrush to color in a photopolymer stamp, that's not going to work. All right, so I've got these dies from Elizabeth Craft Designs, and these are the stitched, indented rectangle dies. I'll have them linked below, and I have an affiliate link for Elizabeth Craft. These dies are a staple for card making. I would highly recommend you go grab these if they're still available. I don't think they're retired. What I'm doing right now is I've got some paper, the Flutters and Blooms pattern paper from Catherine Pooler, and I'm cutting them with my Big Shot, and I'm trying to decide which pattern I want. I'm trying to decide basically if I want to have two different colors of pattern paper, but I'm also using one of the stitched and dented rectangles to die cut the sentiment, which I think it looks great when you have such a nice fitting die to go with your sentiment. It's almost like it was made for it. I end up cutting another piece of pattern paper, but I don't use it. But I'll use it some other day. So I use the lighter colors of pattern paper, not the dark purple. And I'm going to go ahead and layer my sentiment on top. And I also am going to cut a piece of this aqua colored cardstock because the pattern paper does have this color in it. And I'm going to use this as my card base. And it just happens to match my nails. That was definitely a coincidence. So I realized that my stitched rectangle was a little bit too big. It was actually bigger than my card base. So I went back to the drawing board and grabbed the correct size stitched rectangle die and ran that through my die cutting machine. Just getting things lined up, make sure it's straight. You know what they say, measure twice, cut once. I know that really it doesn't, it's really not for the card making world. It's more for like building projects and lumber, but I think it applies, don't you? All right, I just went off screen for a moment to run that through my die cutting machine. And as soon as I get back on screen, you'll see that I go ahead and remove that tape. I have a nice frame that I can use on another card that I will save for the future. But I'm after this solid piece. And that looks awesome. Boom. I love the way that looks against that cardstock. I love the way it makes those flowers pop. All right, I'm going to go ahead and tape this down just using a tape runner. And if you wanted to, you could pop this up with a piece of foam or foam tape if you have it. You can also pop it up with another piece of cardstock or maybe some scrap cardstock. If you want to give it dimension, that would look nice too. And I think it looks really nice with that panel that has the sentiment with the white background. I really think it looks nice together with this flower pattern. This is such a nice quote. I have some little paper flowers, these little purple paper flowers. In case you don't know, purple is my favorite color, so I do incorporate a lot of purple into my projects. I was at Card Club. I'm in a club, stamp club, where we get together once a month and we make cards together. Each time we get together, a different person is responsible for teaching. And this one lady, she's so funny. She said that the art teachers know that when a student grabs for a purple crayon, that student's going to be trouble or something like that, she said. I thought that was funny. I don't think purple was my favorite color, though, when I was a student. I probably was more drawn toward blue, but I like it a lot right now. So there's my finished card. I'll have a still photo at the end of this video for you to check out. Don't forget to head over to Technique Junkies and show them some love. A small mom and pop shop that relies a lot on crafters like us and is really tailoring products to, respond to the things that we like and the things that we would like to see more of. In case you haven't been in a big box craft store lately, there's barely anything left for us card makers to ooh and ah over. But these mom and pop shops like Technique Junkies have so much to offer. All right, well, thanks so much for watching and have a hopeful day. Bye bye.